Welcome. All right. Let me go grab some coffee real quick. Okay. Use the restroom. I'll be right back. Okay. Hello, hello. Good morning. Let me grab some gas. Got coffee. Let me grab some gas. Let me grab some gas and then, yeah, morning, guys. And then we're going to head out to Nancy's. And then we'll hang out for a little bit. How's everybody doing? I love Quick Trip. I went to Pilot. Well, Pilot. I like Pilot. I just took a shower. Real nice bathrooms, clean showers. But the coffee, it just doesn't compare to Quick Trip. So I had to come to Quick Trip and grab my coffee. So let me grab some gas real quick, guys. Let me play some music for you guys. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Michi, good morning. I'll try to say good morning to everybody that's coming in. Actually, yeah, I'll wait. Because I'm driving, so I don't want to get distracted. I'll just wait. Oh, man. That was wild, huh? The saying one thing and then the news saying one thing and then the sheriff's what is it called, the statement coming out saying otherwise. Yeah, I hope so too. I think, there needs to be a press conference. There needs to be a freaking press conference to say, hey, check this out, right? This information. Yeah, Thanos. This information. This is what we got. All right, we're working hand in hand with the FBI. The FBI is leading an investigation, and you know, but nothing, man, nothing. I just, I don't know. I don't know. Well, I don't know what to make of it. Hey, good morning. Um, part of me is like, part of me is like, oh shit. Part of me is like, they're not going to tell us anything. Part of me is that they're not going to say anything. Oh, let me put the GPS on. Hold on a second. It's going to get dark for a minute. I got an email today, very interesting email, and hopefully I can share some of the stuff this person sent me, which is really interesting. They said this person said that they already shared some of the information, so I just want to make sure it's okay that I can share the information with you guys. All right, so yeah, I did get an email, so it's nothing too crazy out of the ordinary. It's nothing too like top secret. It's more of surface level information. And all right, poetically. I don't know, but hopefully I can share some of that information that they were sharing with me. Yeah, so thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining me. Nice and early. It's 4:50 a.m. here in Tucson, Arizona. Beautiful state. Covering the Nancy Guthrie case, mother of Savannah Guthrie, today co-host, and she tragically got kidnapped, got taken, and we don't know anything. We don't know if she's alive. We don't know if she's not alive. We don't know if she's still in the U.S. If they took her to Mexico. We don't know if. I mean, we don't know anything other than some video of the suspect. Yeah, what's the whole controversy about that guy? I don't, I mean, I kind of, again, surface level, but I don't know. We'll see what happens with that one. I was able to get an Airbnb, guys, uh, but they canceled it. I was supposed to get it today, overnight. They canceled it. I guess the the host um, just didn't clean the room, and so she canceled it. she denied the request. Oh man. So supposedly they scammed before. JLR did a video on them before, I guess. All right. Maybe we'll play that video. I want to be careful when it comes to that kind of stuff, but man, if that's the case, that's not cool, It's cool if you go searching, but if you don't, then I mean that's not cool. You know what I mean? It's simple, if you come here and you're gonna search, you search, boom, it's easy, right? To like say that you're searching and then you search it, right? Just like when they went out to go search for Nancy earlier. Media was out there, they went and searched, you saw them searching. But if you're coming out here and not saying he's doing that, and you're not doing that, you're not searching, like what the heck? It's so freaking weird. It's weird, man. So freaking weird. Let me put my microphone on. Or do I have it on? Yeah, I do. Oh, yeah, I do have it on. Yeah, I mean, I applaud. Hats off to people that want to search. It just sucks when the sheriff or law enforcement is like, you can't search, you can't do this, you can't do that. I mean, she's missing, man. Isn't searching good? I thought searching for that person was good, whether it be in the neighborhood, the next town over. Um, with the J. Carroll case with baby Manolito, the one in Riverside, if you guys remember, 7-month-old baby Emmanuel, where Rebecca Harrell was like, supposedly she saw somebody and they said, "Hola," remember that? So I went out there in the hopes to search and just to try to search. And so what happened was the sheriff, was it the sheriff? It was law enforcement. They said, you know what? You guys don't need to be out there. If you're not us up here or law enforcement, pretty much you guys have no business going out there and searching. I was like, whoa, okay. And they were saying, because you could compromise the investigation, and if you come up to a scene and this and that, and I get it, I get it. It just sucks, it just sucks that like you want to do something, you want to help out, and I think searching is one of the biggest ones anybody can do, either as a group or as by yourself, and they're telling you can't or you shouldn't, or you're gonna get in trouble or arrested. Like, it's very discouraging, very discouraging. That's weird. Why did it got me out this way? Do we have any mods in here today? I know it's early. We might not have mods. Oh yeah, Alex. Yeah, I talked to him. I texted him yesterday and to touch base with him. Yeah, Chad Bianco. That's what it is. Thank you, Chad Bianco. Oh, there he is. Criminal. Hey, what's up, Criminal Network? How you feeling? Yeah, man. Hats off to you guys out there searching. For sure, man. Hey, Julie. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Headed to Nancy's house. We're gonna be hanging out for a little bit. I'm gonna have my coffee. Hopefully, you guys are having coffee too. Hopefully, you guys are waking up and getting ready for your day, or the vice, or the other way is getting ready for bed. And I appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out and talking about the case. I think talking about this case and putting out your, talking about your ideas and what could have been, and your thoughts. I think that's important. I really truly believe that, to share ideas. Yeah, you got some cafecito? Half awake. So you're not Abby. So you're not sure like whether you should go to bed or like just wake up, huh? You're like in you're like in purgatory. Yeah, shout out to Alex. Oh shit. I was playing his videos. Uh I was playing his 911 calls. Pretty interesting stuff. Oh, there's my mod. Hey, native girl. Oh, what time is it where you're at, native girl? It's 5 a.m. here. It's on time. Criminal Network says anybody peep that dude Jordan uh phone, who said he tracked back all Google searches from January 11th to recent to 3 partial emails, all in Grand Junction, CO. We need to find if there are any connections. It's hard for me to read these comments because it's so tiny right here, and then I can only read them one at a time. So bear with me, guys, please. So we're almost there. We're almost there, guys. 2 minutes. Thanos, huh? Thanos. Man, that guy's been getting it from auctions. Yeah, let me take my time. Yeah, you're right. Let me take my time. Maybe I'll see some javelinas, or how do you call them? How do you pronounce it? Is it javelinas? Javelinas? Am I saying that right? We saw like 30 of them the other night. They even had a patrol one where he blocked the road to let everybody go by. It was amazing. Whoa, Ben's in the house. What's up, Ben? Hey, Ben, brother. How's work? I know you started like a new job, right? How's that working out for you? Please give a nonprofit organization, BOFA. Everybody has been talking about it. Thanks and blessings. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So, your nonprofit organization, BOFA. Boom. All right, here we go. Okay, so it's a one-way. Dang, media's already out here. All right, I gotta make a loop. I gotta go around. It's a one-way. So hold on. Oh, going good, Ben? That's cool, man. I'm in Arizona, covering the Nancy Guthrie case. All right, let me go around, guys. Nanos is dirty? What do you mean, guys? What do you mean? Like he doesn't shower? Or what? Is that, are you fucking with me, dude? Or what? Wow. Alright, you got me. Dang. Nice. Walked right into that one. Thank you. I appreciate that. I needed that. Man, this coffee is. I don't know how they do it, man. Quick trip. Why didn't I wake you up? Well, I don't know. I don't know, native girl. I go live. I can't check in with everybody. You know what I mean? I just I gotta do. Well, I don't know. Just I just do it, and then in hopes and I pray that you see it, and then sometimes that. So what do you want me to do next time, native girl? You want me to wake you up? I'll wake you up. But you never. We. Yeah, he got me good. All right, here we go. One way. Oh, they'll chase you? Yeah, I saw like 30 of them. You guys, it's hard for me to stop. I'm driving right now. you know, it's hard for me to see every single person's comment in person. You guys hear me? I'm setting up Starlink. So give me 1 second. It's connecting. Give me 1 second. Yeah, they can, huh? I give up. It's a funny name. All right, so just give me a minute. Setting up Starlink. There we go. Way better. Way better. Okay, my device is connected. And then let me connect this other one so I can see you guys' chat. Julie, you need to make coffee? All right. All right, let me pull up the chat on this side over here. Yeah, they said they're rodents from the rodent family. Rodents. Okay, now I can see you guys' chat. There we go. Is the shadow still there? Yeah, I think you'll be able to see the shadow. That scare you guys? I mean, it's just a shadow, but it's freaky. I took a picture of it. Pretty freaky. Okay, there we go. Now we're talking. Your comment, what does your comment say? And then somebody became a member. Hold on. Or Cause gifted a membership. Thank you, Cause. That's cool. Chat filter. Oh, 2 memberships, Cause. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, let's see. Slow mode. No slow mode. Because I'm parked now so I can see you guys' comments, chats. There we go. Oh, you're scared to see it? Where's your comment? Can you put the comment again? I'll read it. Jamie. We all wanted you to see if shadow moved as it looked like a real person. No, it's just the shadow. It's like an illusion, but nonetheless, it was freaky. Oh, you ate squirrel, and squirrel's good. Causes my pleasure, Mark. Love sharing the love. Yeah, for sure. For sure, Cause. What did Michi say? What did Michi say? Don't eat them? Eat them or don't eat them? Anybody ever had it? Anybody have ever ate uh, that rodent? Yeah, definitely is freaky. Hey, good morning, Sugar Plum. Squirrel's good? Mm. All right, I'm gonna have to slow the chat down a second, just so I can see your guys' comments. I'll just do it for 1 minute. There we go. There we go. they've ate they've ate those rodents. Can you ask them what they taste like? They taste like bacon. Julie says, I am making some now. Daisy says, I got to go teach 3rd graders. Have a great day, y'all. All right, Daisy, you have a good day too. Thanks for stopping by. 1985 says, my grandfather used to talk about loving squirrel. I don't know that, although I try most things. Stormy says, What type of activities did Nancy do during the day or week? Who picked her up when Annie didn't take her? That's a good question. Very good question. Amy, no way I would eat that. What's up, Financy? Yeah, how you doing? Crazy Graham says chicken. Tastes like chicken. Lindell says, my psychic, uh, Maureen from Massachusetts said Nancy's still alive and four guys have her in a white van like Gabby Petito's van. She is 3 to 5 miles away from home, near or in southwest of her home. Is that what you wanted me to read? T-Woo says, kidnap and ransom insurance. Sources UPI. Just read an article on it pertaining to the Nancy Guthrie case. Did the daughter have this type of insurance on her family? Tony says, how can I send you something through email? I'll have my mods. I'll have, can somebody put my email? It's marktheshark943 at outlook.com. Yeah, one of my mods dropped the email. What do you guys think about that uh, where the sheriff's Pima County Sheriff came out with a tweet saying, let me pull it up. I want to read it. Here we go. Whoops. There we go. So this came out 9 hours ago. I read it when it came out a half hour when they tweeted this. So this is wild. So it says, we are aware that doorbell images released earlier in the investigation depict a suspect in different stages of attire, including with and without a backpack. There is no date or timestamp associated with these images. Therefore, any suggestion that the photographs were taken on different days is purely speculative. This remains an active and ongoing criminal investigation. As with any investigation, conclusions will be guided by verifiable evidence and established facts. Speculation without factual support does not advance the investigative process. Yours truly, Chris Nanos, Sheriff, Pima County Sheriff's Department. How you like me now? Okay. You believe him? Or no? Or what's your thoughts, guys? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what do you guys think about that? Because what people were saying and the news media outlets were saying that picture, one of them was from a different date, and that it could have been from January 11th, because that's what they were looking for, a ring camera footage or any type of footage from that date. Deborah, good morning. Dang, a lot of you guys don't believe that. So then, like, Chris Nanos, like, right away came out with this. So, um, pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, the same day. It was like right away. It's a botched investigation, says Fonzie. Heli Ski says, I think the two different pictures show two different jackets. Kima says, I have no trust in that sheriff. His stories changed too much. I give up 776 says, I believe him. Jamie says, two different masks. Jenny says, I think the same day or even same person. Betty, this case is so different. I just pray for Nancy. Absolutely. Oh, man. It's just wild. Like, they're coming out with. Lisa says there's definitely times. Well, right here, Nanos, Chris Nanos, the sheriff of Pima County, is saying that there isn't. And then there was a media report saying that um, they are from two different dates. So what are we supposed to believe? How are we supposed to form ideas and theories and thoughts when we have on one hand the media saying one thing and then we have Nano saying a different thing? I mean, should we just blindly believe law enforcement or the media journalists who are actually, researching? People are talking to them, they have sources. You guys believe Cash Patel? What's up, YouTube bad actors? Lisa says the FBI verified it. Do you have a link to that or a source to that, Lisa? If you can send me that. The dates are saving in the image file name. Also, the sheriff is withholding more truth. Hey, yeah, I think she did take a leave of absence or something. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna go back, not go back. I don't think that's her concern right now. I think her concern right now is to find her mother. Hey, good morning. Oh, she did? She did say a few days she won't be coming back? Wow. Thank you for that update. You will appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, how can you go on, right? Your mom's missing and you're trying to put a happy face on. Be pretty hard. And then, do you guys remember when they brought up the dog sniffers and that blue shirt, and then they left it? They went to they went to lunch or something, or they clocked out or something. But the point is that they forgot it and they had to come back and they apologized. They had to apologize, like, "Oh my, we're sorry we left that behind." How do you do that, man? That to me tells me your head's not in the game. Your head's not in the situation, in the investigation. Your head's somewhere else, and leadership comes from the top. Yeah, that's true, native girl. Yeah, that's a fair point. Sometimes putting a happy face on is all you can do with major problems. Yeah, I mean, some people can do it better than others. Maybe she can't. Yeah, I give up. Says I couldn't face the world on TV with a happy face every morning after that. Yeah, I mean, I know some people can, right, and that helps them, and then some people can't. Like I wouldn't be able to do that, but I know some people that could probably pull it off and keep on going and keep on trucking and keep on fishing, swimming, and that's all they can do. That's what they do to get to move forward. Was I under the tent? Yeah, I was under two tents. We got two command posts now. Kim says my gut says someone in the family knows or was involved in some way. Michi's Thanos said it can take years to solve the case. That right there says he has no faith in finding her at all. Criminal Network says when law enforcement only puts out so much information, it breeds speculation. That's where we all come in. This YouTube online true crime community. Put it out there and we will confirm or debunk it. Capturing Moment says, everyone please help out Mark and share. Takes a minute. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's cool. Baby Beck the Cat says, Mark, I just found your channel yesterday. Thank you for showing up and for keeping us in the loop. Yeah, I try to come out here and then kind of, interact with you guys and see what you guys are thoughts are, and sometimes we'll go back and forth and we'll update each other. And I'm over here and I'm at ground zero, and if something happens and I'm right here, I can tell you guys, and you guys will be the first to know before even the news comes out because there's a lag with the news. But if I see like activity here, like right now, oh, I'll say like, hey, something's going on. But for the most part, now the past few days it's been pretty quiet, pretty calm and quiet. And I think the reason for that is uh I think the reason for that is because now it's like more controlled. It's like a controlled chaos where they're having us park on the left side, and then it's a one-way street. So now cars aren't coming, cars aren't bumping into each other. Damn, I cannot talk. Or backing up because there's no way. They're just a one-way street, loop, and it's nice. Corona says, Mark, feel free to stay at my pad for a day or two, free. 99, brother. Right on. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, Corona. Thank you. Yeah, and if you ever need like a ride or anything like that, I know you had a situation with your car and you are left without one. So if you need a car, and if likewise, if you need anything from me, let me know. Your heart's in the right place, man. I I could see that. And if you need a ride or anything like that, pick you up. If you need to go to the store, my number. Feel free to reach out. All right, let's read comments. Pawn shots, check him out, says Bambi. Sugar Plum says, I still can't stop thinking of dinner that night with Annie and Tomato. I got a bad vibes with that. Native Girl says, I'm cutting in and out. Yeah, the sometimes the Starlink, for whatever reason, kind of jumps around. Thank you, Native Girl. Appreciate that. Yeah, I could see here it was reconnecting. Criminal Network says, Mark, appreciate that, brother. Thank you. You as well are a good man. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. Can you guys hear me now okay now? I see that it reconnected. Kathy says he won't hand over the case, I don't think, because of the TV show. Johnny says Nancy's son-in-law made her disappear for whatever reason. Why the elder abuse card in Nancy's front door, and why would kidnappers hold her for almost a month without any communication? Sherry Brooks, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Let's see who got those. Betty Knight got one. Stormy got one. Nunya Buzz. Nunya Buzz, that's funny. Got one. Mommy T got one. Linda and Creole Lady. Oh, that's cool. So we have a few people that are in the chat that got it. So that's always nice. People that are in the chat who are interactive and engaging. I really like that. I wish you would be able to gift memberships to people. Like there would be an option, like say you want to gift it, and then boom, there's 5, and then you're like, okay, I want Stormy to get one, I want Crowley to get one, and then you're just like boom, 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 boom. But it's random, so I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't want to gift something to somebody that you want to gift it to. Oh, thank you so much. We got a $20 donation super chat from Stormy. I'm new here and so glad to find Mark and a group of caring people still committed to finding Nancy. It's this kind of persistence that makes all the difference. I'm thankful and praying. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, your words are powerful. Um, the power of prayer and the power of awareness and the power of keeping it out there. It might trigger somebody's memory. It might trigger somebody's thought to be like, hey, thought I heard something that night. Maybe I seen something that day. Maybe we've seen a weird character coming around the past few weeks. And, it's super dark out here. And, I don't know. Did neighbors see anything? I mean, the neighbors are walking up and down all day, every day. So I'm wondering if they talked to police and said, hey, we've seen somebody prior to this incident. Thank you again, Storm. I appreciate that. Thank you. Cayman says Savannah's husband worked on the Clintons' political campaign. So I question that being the Clintons are under fire right now. Yeah, if you guys received the gift of membership, please say thank you, says Native Girl. Mona Lisa, I don't think she is alive. If the ransom was real, they would have provided proof of life to get the money. Yeah, I agree with that too. You want to keep communication with it, and the FBI is going to keep communication with you because they have really good um, what's it called, negotiators that specialize in that. Carmen says, I think it's the same night. Why wear the same outfit to the case to the porch if it's separate days? He was casing the porch, saw the camera, went back to get the backpack. Hey, that's a good thought. Oh, look at this. Jenny says, my friend is a former detective, and he said the Adult Protective Service would just come in on cases like these, not specifically for abuse. Oh, wow, that's cool. Thank you for that comment. Because we've had that question, right? Everybody's had that question. Was there abuse? Was there anything other than that? And so you're saying that it could be, I mean, they come in, the detectives, and it doesn't necessarily have to be for abuse. Oh, that's cool. Criminal Network says, anybody got persons of interest that haven't been named yet? Would love to hear who and why. Yeah, I mean, if you guys know or have an inkling of persons of interest, yeah, let us know. Let law enforcement know, of course, but for conversation purposes, yeah, let us know. And thanks again, Jenny, for that comment. That's really good insight. You're already a member? Then how did you get a gifted membership? That's funny. Let's see. Our soul connection says, for some reason, I woke up feeling like she was going to be found today. Oh, you sent cash info from X? Okay, I'll check it out. Joanne, no, it doesn't. It doesn't necessarily mean that I could read your comments or not read your comments. What it does mean for me is that it helps out the channel. Um, but if you can't afford it, it's not required. It's appreciated, but it's not required. It helps out the channel. It helps me come out here. We got flowers last time. We have lights. We got a bunch of lights for to light up the flowers. We even got Tomas and Annie some flowers too. But if you can't, that's okay too. Hit the like button, come in here like you are now, and be part of the conversation. All right, let me see let me see what what I got sent on my email. Let's see. Let me see. Hold on, guys. I'm just checking my email. Oh, walkie-talkie. Oh, let me share this picture with you guys. Hold on. Yeah, let me show you guys what I just got. That's interesting. More people are showing up. We got 2 tents now. Actually, I'm gonna take a screenshot of it. It's just easier that way. There we go. What do you guys think? Walkie-talkies? What is that? That's weird. That is weird. Looks like a rod or something. Yeah, maybe a walkie-talkie. Baby Beck says, "How am I not afraid of being out here in the dark?" I don't know. I just I have you guys and I have God. I don't know. God is good. But yeah, it does get scary sometimes. Oh, flashlight. Yeah. Oh, look. Yeah, I think you're right. Look, it is. Yeah, it might be just a flashlight. It's so weird how it's sticking out like that. Excuse me. Oh, portable internet? But isn't portable internet Starlink? I have Starlink and it doesn't look like that. Is there something else that's portable for internet that kind of looks like that? I'm not sure. To some people, it looks like a walkie-talkie. Wi-Fi scrambler, Jenny says. Let me see if I can, because I have a different, in my mind of a walkie-talkie, what it looks like. I have a different perspective on it, and it doesn't look like that. But let me see what comes up. Oh yeah, look. Oh wow, look at that. Okay, hold on. Let me bring up some pictures. This is interesting. Hold on. The screen might go dark for a minute. Damn, that's wild. It could, yeah, it could be a walkie-talkie. Hold on. Let me take a screenshot of this. This is wild. Okay, let me share it with you. Hold on. Let me add it up here. Where's my restore? Oh, here it is. Oh, all right. I was saving it on the wrong phone, so let me send it to myself over here. Hold on. Hold on. The screen's gonna go dark in a minute. Let me bring up some walkie-talkie pictures. It does look like an antenna from a walkie-talkie. Okay, yeah, here we go. Let me go to images. All right, let me take a screenshot, and then that way you guys can see what I'm seeing. There we go. Photos. Save to photos. There we go. And then let me share it to this screen. Guys, be nice about other creators, please. Don't be disrespectful. Oh, my my Starlink is tripping out. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. So look at that. And look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That does look like an antenna, huh? Look at that. The walkie-talkie. And then look at that compared to the pocket. Damn, that's a good catch. There's that Motorola walkie-talkie. And then we'll go back to the image. What do you guys think? Let me check out comments. Hold on. Yeah, I think in my mind I had a different view of a walkie-talkie antenna. Oh, barrel of the gun pointing up. Would have been nice if it misfired or if it fired. Let me show you guys again. Walkie-talkie, Motorola with the antenna on the left side, and then the pocket. Walkie-talkie, pocket. Walkie-talkie, pocket. Yeah, I think that's, man. Pretty interesting. Sarah says, I don't think the pocket's bulge enough out for a walkie-talkie unless it's a small one. You can buy them anywhere, those walkie-talkies. Oh, Adele, thank you so much. We got a hippo, because it doesn't show up on it, so I have to read it. Hippo character stands idle, whistling his new and most powerful body attachments to their thing with the word OP in the background. Yeah, I wish the image would come up. Thank you. Thank you, Adele. He's got like a rocket on his head. ready to shoot, ready to shoot somebody. So you guys think some of you guys are saying it might be a flashlight. That could be it too. You think it's a pen? Mini mag light, somebody's saying. GRB says a stocky talkie. Dang. Kitty says also my pepper spray has a strap handle on it as well. Looks like a flashlight. Jabe or Jabeen says. Time Travel says if it's a walkie-talkie, they probably left phones at home. Yeah, it might be a flashlight. Might be a flashlight. It might be a walkie-talkie. What else did we say that it looks like? Oh, pepper spray. Taz? What's going on with Taz? Jenny says, wasn't there a walkie-talkie found 2 days ago out search? I'm not sure. Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure, but maybe. Rebecca says, I don't think they're walkie-talkies. They transmit over CB radio too. It's too risky. Some type of transmitter. Well, they're saying that there's like a strap here. Let me bring it up again. There's supposedly that's a strap. To me, I thought that was just part of the jacket. Here, I'll bring up the picture. Give me a second. I'm gonna get a little bit of fresh air. So give me 2 minutes. Let me stretch out a little bit because I slept. So hold on. All right. Let me stretch out. Just 1 second. All right. I'm back. wonder why the sheriff put his lights on. That was weird. Oh, a small taser. Ooh. Oh, that's a good answer. A small taser. Maybe that's how she was controlled. Let me look at that picture again. 1 second. Think it's a knife in a case. Dang, it could be anything, huh? Like anything fits. Like anything fits in, like what it could be. It could be a remote. It could be a drone. It could be, um, a remote for the drone. It could be, but then the remote drones aren't like that. I have a drone. Doesn't look like that. Even not even close. It could be a knife. It could be what else did we say? A taser. The taser will mess up the pacemaker. Thank you, 889 Melanie. She says, I sure hope we get answers soon. Thank you for your dedication. Yeah, thank you guys for support, for showing love for the channel. Um, all donations, all the love, it goes to one pot and it goes towards the channel. It's just easier that way. Um, yeah, it just goes to channel related expenses, travel, coming out here. We buy flowers. We got lights last time, gas, food, it just whatever, however, and whatever gets me here and gets me going. That's what it goes to the channel. Sometimes I pay for X, $8, ChatGPT sometimes $20. So it does help. It does help because I use it for thumbnails. So every little bit helps. Thank you. Thank you, 889 Melanie. 8892 Melanie. All right, let me go back to the picture because we're having. Let me see. Let's see. All right, yeah, look at that. I mean, it might be a flashlight or a walkie-talkie. That strap is throwing me off too because it kind of looks like it's just either like part of the jacket or something. I don't know. A little weird. A little sus, as you guys like to say. There we go. Damn. Yeah, see, look, I zoomed in on it. I mean, is that just part of the jacket? Damn, like we could see it a lot better now. Oh, look at that. Part of the backpack, says Dawn. Man, you guys are good. You guys are good. That's part of the backpack. Who said that? Dawn. Dawn Davis. That could just be part of the backpack. Yeah, that's what that is. No, it's part of the backpack. The strap, yes. That's good. You guys are freaking amazing. Christy, thank you so much for your $2 super chat, super sticker. Thank you. She donated $2. Woohoo! I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you guys so much. Showing love. Yeah, I think you're right, Don. I think you're right. That's just part of the backpack, the strap from the backpack. Because those straps hang to the side. Damn, that's very good. Very good catch. Mm-hmm. Yep, Sarah. So then oh, man, what is that then? I mean, I zoomed on it a little bit more. You know what it kind of looks like? Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know what that is. Handheld scanner. And then he has a walkie-talkie. Looks like an old flip phone. And you know what? That would make sense that it is a walkie-talkie too, because I don't get service here at her home. So maybe they knew that too, right? If they need to, keep keep in communication with whoever is on the other side of that walkie-talkie, they knew that if they brought their cell phones, one, they would get pinged. Two, there's no service. True crime mofo. What is it? True crime mofo said. Right, the flashlight. What is it in his mouth? Which is why I don't understand why they didn't take the foliage from the front door so they could use that for DNA. Nancy Grace said walkie-talkie. Let me play. Let me play that. Let me play Nancy Grace then. She came out with a. I haven't seen her video, so we can watch it together. Let me see.
Guthrie's mother, Nancy Guthrie, missing day 23. How is this possible? With all the scientific advances, 50,000 tips, a $200,000 plus reward, and we don't have an answer? Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us. Stunning developments tonight as we learn the crime scene is shambolic. Shambolic is the only way to put it. That's a cross between chaotic and shambles. In the last days, a pizza delivery guy has actually walked up onto the crime scene to deliver a pizza. True, to a reporter or a journalist of some sort, but how is that happening? Why isn't the crime scene locked down? There's that and so much more. That's not the most important part tonight. The most important part, as far as I'm concerned, is evidence of an accomplice that apparently has been overlooked. Take a look at this. Was an accomplice shining a cell phone light, the lamp, the flashlight on a cell phone, onto the porch guy so he could better obfuscate vision from the door cam? Look at that. Look off to the left. Do you see that? Could we ISO that, isolate it, and enlarge it so our guests and the viewers could see this? Dave Mack, what is happening? Why does our staff and the sleuths on Twitter, X, have to find this?
It's shocking, Nancy. When our team came up with that, I looked at it, I thought, surely they're wrong. I think, to me, it looks clearly like a rectangular cell phone, and it looks like a second person. Because when you watch the suspect here trying to put the weeds on the camera, the camera angle shows you that the other light source is it's further away, and from the individual using his arm to cover up. Does it make sense? It's like you can't be the same person doing both. You can't be putting the weeds on the camera and then holding something else, a light source behind him and to the right.
Yes, you're saying that that rectangle lit up off to the side is disattached from the guy fumbling around trying to cover up the door cam. Now, Scott Eicher joining us, he was an original founder of the FBI Cellular Analysis Survey Team, CAST. Who are they? They are the ones that are working feverishly. There's probably, from what I'm learning, 2 or more guys, women on the ground, and several hold away in Quantico or remote that are digging through the data that's being fed to them to isolate cell phones and other Wi-Fi emitting devices on the scene. That is how they pulled over the first guy. Remember him? Catch and release. That's probably why they raided the home of a neighbor, because those cell phones were popping up in and around the area of Nancy Guthrie's home. I'm still curious, were they popping up at 2 a.m.? But we do know that all of those subjects have been cleared. That's what CAST, Cellular Analysis Survey Team, is doing. Now, you, Scott Eicher, also with Norfolk PD in the Homicide Division for many years. Now you're at Precision Cellular Analysis. You had the idea that that rectangle could be the backpack, the reflection, the reflective part of the backpack. Was that one of your theories?
Yeah, it's really hard to tell from that video if that's the screen of the cell phone that's on, or is that a reflection of we've seen on the backpack as the guy's walking up, the reflective kind of armband. So is that part of the backpack or the waistband of the backpack that's, making a reflection that looks like a cell phone? But either way, whether it's in the video or not, the CAST team is going to be looking at all devices, either cellular or Wi-Fi devices or GPS devices that Google can collect in that area, so that we can start weeding out the ones that are supposed to be there at that time and the ones that are suspect.
Okay, I want to talk to you, and the whole panel, please jump in. Look at it again, because this rectangular, this lit up rectangle that looks like a cell phone is not jiving. It's not corresponding with the movements of the porch guy. He's moving. His arms and shoulders are moving. So it is stationary. See what I mean? Right there. It's stationary while he is moving, which means to me, and of course, I'm not a member of the FBI Cellular Analysis Survey Team, but that is impossible. He walks up and the reflective lighting is very apparent. Hold on, those strips. Move your hand, fella. Move your hand. Come on, I want to see those. There you go. Okay, Bueller. Joining me, guys, John Bueller. You know him well. Homicide detective, former homicide detective with Modesto PD. He helped lead the investigation that ultimately convicted Scott Peterson in the double murders of Lacey and Connor Peterson. Bueller is joining us. 31 years in homicide and robbery. What do you make of that cell phone, apparently a cell phone off to the left of the perp? To me, it means there's an accomplice.
Well, Nancy, I certainly couldn't rule that out, and it certainly fits. I'd like something a little bit clearer, but at the same time, he would have remained off the view of the camera the whole time, and so it might be a situation where he's not disguised, he's not masked up, he doesn't have the gloves on, so if he was the one who originally made the contact at the door to try and get her to open the door, it would be more likely that she would open for somebody who isn't disguised versus the guy who was standing there with the mask up. Who's going to open for that?
And Dave Mack, and I mocked him at the time and gave him a really hard time, said, well, it's somebody dressed identically. But when you think about it, look, here he is, backpack, then no backpack. Is that the accomplice? Why would he go take off the backpack and put it back on, or show up without the backpack? Because when we see him first walking up, let me see that as well. When we see him first walking up and stepping onto the porch, he's already wearing the backpack. Now, Iker, this is your expertise. We can't tell really which came first. See, here he is walking up, first time that we know of, and he's wearing the backpack. So is that a second person without the backpack that indicates an accomplice? And they outfitted themselves similarly? Or is this not in the right time sequence? What do you make of it, Iker?
I think you got to remember, one, we're not seeing probably all the video that law enforcement wants to provide us. Two, the fact that we got this video is unique in the first place because the Guthries didn't have a subscription, so it was hidden back in the cloud. So hopefully they can find more video, and what we don't have is timestamps on these videos. So we don't know the sequence of events. Is it the first time the guy walks up, or the second time, or the third time?
The police officer at the scene told me to never sue the driver who crashed into me after my car accident. I took his advice.
Guys, we're analyzing what we believe to be newly discovered evidence, and that is evidence that there is an accomplice, and he's shining a light onto the door cam to help the porch guy obfuscate, hide the view from the porch cam, the door cam. Seems like he's holding the light so the porch guy can see what he's doing. So we have not one buffoon, but two. This kind of takes away from the theory, John Bueller, that this is someone that had totally cased her home, because they would have had to see she has a door cam, and they're just figuring that out and trying to figure out how to obscure their view.
Yeah, well, it's kind of strange to me that somebody, no matter what they're up to, is not going to figure that somebody's got one of the door cams, because they're so common nowadays. But the mere fact that you've got the movement of that light source when he's moving the foliage up there around the camera suggests to me that there's two. But that fits with a lot of things that come along with this thing. How are you going to transport this gal who's not in great health? You're not going to walk her across the desert. You're not going to take her through the backyard, because all these yards are completely covered with all sorts of brush and shrubs and cactus and things like that. It seems more likely that they would have taken her out the front, put her in a vehicle that maybe was on the circular driveway outside of the camera view. From a viewer point, when you're looking at the suspect coming up, the circular driveway goes from left to right from your view, and it would be real easy to have a vehicle out of the view of the camera over there that they were able to get her into and take her out of there.
So let me circle back to Iker, Scott Iker, joining us currently with PCA experts, precision cellular analysis experts. Scott, if the cell phone is lit up, that doesn't mean that the Wi-Fi is on, or does the well, I guess they could have turned it on and cut off the Wi-Fi. Would that in any way be picked up? Because I believe we were told that an iPhone.
Oh, so Tammy says stun baton maybe? Dang. Yeah, it does look like a stun baton. Could be.
Ad that was cut that didn't have the Wi-Fi on could still be trying to connect. I mean, could we get that phone, could Cast get it, even if the Wi-Fi was turned off?
Right, there's several different things that connect a phone to a network, right? It's the cellular connection, it can be the Bluetooth connection, and it can be the Wi-Fi connection. So all those things could be off, and the light or the screen on the phone could be still on, but who would do that, right? I mean, why turn all those devices off, all those connections off, and leave the phone on? So and to answer your question, yeah, you can look at Wi-Fi connections. Google does that some on its subscribers. Cellular stuff we're obviously doing already, and Bluetooth stuff we're doing already for Nancy's pacemaker. So we're taking a look at all those different triggers. Yeah.
Watch how shelters get 50 untrained dogs to use pads instantly. So picture this. Okay, some of the devices that would show up in addition to cell phones would be, for instance, a smartwatch, correct?
Correct.
Just
Yes.
a yes, no.
Yes.
An iPad?
Yes, if it had Wi-Fi on.
Dang, Nancy. Just say yes or no. Dang.
Okay, so we would have to have the Wi-Fi turned on. What about a vehicle that already has, it's wired already for Wi-Fi, like a Uconnect?
Yes, a lot of the newer vehicles have both Wi-Fi connections and cellular connections.
Okay, what about a GPS device of some sort?
If it's just GPS, it's just seeing satellites and giving its own position based on the satellites. If it has no cellular connection or Wi-Fi, then we're not going to see that.
What if somebody connected to Waze or Google Maps to get there? What about that?
Oh yeah, then you've got your cellular connection and a GPS or a Wi-Fi connection running on that phone that will guide you to that address. And we saw those searches of Nancy's address and Savannah's income that are important in the aspect that it was done prior to Nancy Guthrie missing, and those are the things that we really want to know.
Okay, let me talk to you about if the cell phone we think the accomplice was using to shine onto the porch, if they thought to turn off, like it's alleged, and let me see, okay, Brian Koberger, he's the poster board for so many bad things, turned off a cell phone, went and did the crime, quadruple murder, then later turned on his cell phone. We have reason to believe, according to prosecution, it stated that Barry Morphew turned off his cell phone at a certain time during the time of Suzanne Morphew's murder, and then turned it back on. That's what they're alleging. It hasn't been proven yet. If this guy turned off his Wi-Fi on his phone, right? You know how you just go in and you click turn off Wi-Fi? If he did that, could we still trace that phone through cellular or Bluetooth?
If he turned off the Wi-Fi, yes, we can still check it, trace that through cellular and the Bluetooth part of it. What we do know is that if you think about it, why would he turn off or maybe he turned off his connections to his cell phone, that's why he has the walkie-talkie.
Brilliant. So on a cell phone, you can get a tracking from the cellular, the Wi-Fi, or the Bluetooth. Correct?
Correct, from different aspects, yes.
And who would think, just logically speaking, to go in and turn off cellular, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth on your phone? I could see them turning off the Wi-Fi. I could see them turning off the cellular, but all of that, okay, you brought up something really important. In addition to seeing what we believe to be a cell phone lighting up off to the left of the perp, there's also a close-up of the tip of a walkie-talkie. Let's see that, Control. If you could show me that. He's coming up. It says left pocket. Wait for it. There you go. Okay. What do you make of that, Bueller?
Bueller.
Well, once again, fully support
Bueller.
possibility or probability that he didn't act alone. Just like you guys were just talking about being wise enough to turn off Bluetooth, cellular, and Wi-Fi. How's he going to communicate with his buddy? So the cheap
walkie-talkies that you would get, which are great to use around the yard and, things like that. Real easy for him to stick one of those in his pocket, and then he can make contact with his buddy who's off screen, and maybe it was the same guy holding that the illuminated screen on the cell phone.
We think it's a walkie-talkie. So now I'm going to circle back to you, Iker, on this, because now we've got somebody that shopped for the backpack, the Walmart polyester holster, the ski mask, balaclava, the gloves, maybe the jacket, maybe the pants, and walkie-talkies, and a gun. Although I don't think he bought the gun at a gun shop. I don't think that happened. But, Dave Mack, what do we know about the use of a walkie-talkie?
Well, what we do know is that right there, you're seeing what appears to be the antenna of a walkie-talkie. We found this walkie-talkie that has that similar antenna at Walmart. That's what you see there on the screen. These would allow for the suspect to communicate with someone else, like you mentioned a minute ago, without having any kind of cellular connection at all. It's a walkie-talkie. It works, channel to channel. It's just a regular signal that is not digital. It's picked up, using an antenna. And I mean, we had them as kids, and you can use those in a yard. Some of them go up to 2 or 3 miles. But in this case, they are available at Walmart, and they do fit in your pocket like that.
It's flawless and lightweight, yet it covers everything.
Wow! That is so... I know all about walkie-talkies, from law enforcement for 7 years, but my son went through the whole walkie-talkie phase. We all had to have a walkie-talkie, and then those would break. We'd have to get new walkie-talkies. They're still all over the house. The little ones, the big ones, you name it. So, okay, Iker, is there any way to trace
Iker.
walkie-talkie activity?
If it's a one-point to one-point transmission, you're not going to have that recorded in any cellular network or in any Google location information or, Facebook type stuff, location information. It's going to be quite difficult to track a single historical transmission over walkie-talkies. Now, there could be several people on the same frequency talking together. You can have a whole family talking to each other, as you were talking about with your family. But I don't think there's going to be any record of that unless the actual walkie-talkie is one of the newer ones that might have Wi-Fi or might have cellular on it too. If it's just the old peer-to-peer over a low-level frequency, we're not going to be able to retrieve that or figure out when it occurred.
Would Cass be able to pick it up if it's connected to cell?
Yes, if it was using a cell tower in the area around the time she went missing, then that'll be in the records from the phone company.
So, Iker, you're saying no matter how many people may be on the walkie-talkies at that time, 2 o'clock in the morning, right outside her home, 2 guys at her front porch, maybe somebody in a vehicle, we still can't get that. You can't trace it through CAST.
I don't think so. Unless there's a cellular connection, we're not going to see it. Now, we've talked about the Google aspect. If it's a Google device, Google does track some of its devices. If that's via Bluetooth or cellular or Wi-Fi, I just don't think those are enabled that way. Those cheap walkie-talkies are not going to have that.
Okay, let me look at the walkie-talkie again. This fits in with the Nanos who's coming out and saying that there is more than one perp. That fits in perfectly with that. Now, to you, Bueller, I like the theory that there's more than one person. The more people involved, the more likely they're going to get caught. Explain why.
Well, it's going to be tough. You got 2 people that are completely absent from their day-to-day life. Friends and family are going to wonder where they're at. 3 weeks away, if they're holding Nancy and she's still with us, hopefully that's the case. They're going to have their life pretty much filled up with dealing with her. The one thing that is kind of strange to me, $202,000 and change, is going to pretty much strain loyalty between 2 bad guys. One's going to probably want to collect that and start his life new, become a witness instead of a co-responsible. So that's the one reason that awards are so great. But the other thing that is a problem here, that at least for me, I've been looking at this ever since it started, is they didn't put out a reward right away. They didn't put out a photo of Nancy showing that she was, duct taped up to a chair somewhere or something like that, so that whoever was going to pay the reward would know what they're making the purchase for. The mere fact that they don't have that out there makes me fearful that she didn't survive the abduction. So the reward's a great thing. Loyalty, well, if they're staying loyal for $202,000, they got to be pretty much more loyal than most of the people that I know. That's a pretty good chunk of cash, unless you are independently wealthy.
Bueller, I'm going to ask you a couple of yes/no questions. Did you know cadaver dogs were already brought to the scene? Did you know that?
I did not know that. I was under the suspicion that they
Now
had
you
brought
know. Did you know that they did not get a hit? Yes, no, they did not get a hit. Did you know that?
Did not know that.
There has not been a body found yet, Bueller. Did you know that?
I was pretty aware of that, yeah.
That given, we're moving forward trying to find Nancy Guthrie alive.
To whoever has her or knows where she is. That
Freaking Nancy, huh?
it's never too late. And you're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing. And we are here. We believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being. And it's never too late.
Introducing the only prescription hair regrowth gummy on the market, the Minoxidil Plus Biotin Gummy by Hers.
American homeowners, the FBI please don't be. Last hours, we learned a bloody glove and a backpack have been found near Nancy Guthrie's home. This is Nanos announces to the world, why does he keep talking? That the DNA found in the home, we believe is what he's trying to say, is, quote, mixed. And what does that mean? To Dave Mack, tell me about the bloody glove found by a couple near Nancy Guthrie's home over the weekend.
Yeah, and actually, Nancy, we got the news over the weekend, but this bloody glove was found on day 10 of the search. This couple from Tucson, just out on their own, like many thousands of people who've been looking for Nancy Guthrie, they find a pair of gloves about a mile or so away from Nancy Guthrie's home. The gloves are separated by about 10 feet. The gloves appear to have blood on them. And one of the gloves is sitting next to a rock, and that rock also has a blood droplet on it. The gloves were found, and the couple reported it, did not get response from the FBI. They were like, can you come get these right now? We got bloody gloves near the scene. Didn't get any response from the FBI like they hoped, so they called the sheriff's department. That didn't get a quick enough response either. This couple, they're not law enforcement, they're just a regular couple. So they called 911. Within 10 minutes, deputies were on the scene to collect the bloody gloves and the rock. That was a little over a mile from Nancy Guthrie's home. Then, breaking news now is that less than 2 miles away from Nancy Guthrie's home is a fairly active homeless encampment. I didn't know this. I would have thought this would have been one of the many places searched right away. But in this arroyo, an area that has like a tunnel going through it, the big metal cylinder that homeless people can get out of the weather, spend the night, a black backpack was found. This backpack was abandoned. There were 2 homeless people in this area when one of the searchers found it. Volunteer searchers, by the way, have been meeting in local retail parking lots to get together and decide where they're going to search. And that this backpack was found by one of these volunteer searchers. The volunteer did not touch the bag. The volunteer used a stick and called 911. Deputies came out and collected it. But thankfully, the volunteer recovered the backpack, didn't touch it, did not ruin any evidence. The area that we have volunteers looking for this stuff is covered up with really tough terrain, Nancy, a lot of cactus, a lot of bushes that will tear clothing. It's a difficult search. But again, we've got bloody gloves, a blood on a rock, and now a backpack found not by law enforcement, but by volunteers who want to bring Nancy Guthrie home.
This video we're showing you is from our friends at Fox 10. Dave Mack, was it one bloody glove found or two?
It was two. It was a pair of bloody gloves. They were found about 10 feet apart.
We are also learning from Nanos that the DNA found inside Nancy Guthrie's home was, quote, mixed. And joining us right now is an expert in DNA and DNA analysis. It's Susanna Ryan, lab director, forensic DNA analyst at Pure Gold Forensics. She's a forensic DNA consultant at Ryan Forensics, 25 years in the DNA business. Susanna, thank you for being with us. What does that mean? Nanos has announced it's mixed DNA. What obstacles does that present?
This year, we opened 2 new restaurants while running, how many?
5 others.
5 other restaurants. So we turned to Upwork. We found freelance pros to help with branding, digital menus, even AI tools to streamline operations. It was fast, affordable, and honestly a huge weight off our shoulders. Through platforms like Upwork, we found some freelance creatives who absolutely nailed our logo. Let me show you. Look at our logo. They also help with our menus. Where's our menu? It looks amazing.
Incredible job.
What's really nice is that you only pay for what you need. There's no overhead. There's no long-term commitment. That kind of flexibility is what small business owners need.
The truth is, small business owners can really do big things. You just have to know how to get there, how to accomplish these things.
And asking for help, that's one strategy that we use all the time. Trying to build a small business or start something from scratch, don't let a small team or small budget stop you. Post a job today at Upwork.com.
Zorro gets you. You make things move, work, happen. You make sure to remember the tiny details that drive quality and efficiency. With fast shipping and competitive pricing, you make it move and we keep you moving. Zorro.com. Tools, parts, and supplies for your business.
Well, it really doesn't surprise me they're picking up what we call mixtures or mixed DNA. That means there's DNA from more than one person, could be multiple people. And so what happens when you have mixtures of DNA, it becomes very difficult to interpret the profiles and basically kind of piece out the different contributors, right? So you have this kind of jumble of DNA that, number one, might be too much of a mixture, cannot go into the CODIS database, and also becomes very difficult, if not impossible, to work with genealogical testing.
What do you make of the bloody gloves found out in the elements? How does that weigh into an analysis?
Well, I mean, is it really blood? Number one, sometimes things look like blood and it's not. Is it related to the scene or to the crime? Who knows? If it was found on the 10th day of this event, I can guarantee you they already have DNA results from that. Now, to your question about being out in the elements, that certainly can have an impact on DNA. But if it is blood, that's something that typically has a lot of DNA. Any kind of body fluid would have a lot of DNA and would take longer to break down to the point that we can't get results. So I would guess that they already have results from that and perhaps have determined that it's simply not relevant to the case or associated with the case.
Or if it is relevant, I'm sure they're not revealing that. To you, John Bueller, who came to the consciousness of the nation during the Scott Peterson prosecution, what do you make of finding it so many days in?
Well, that's a problem for me because there's no way to necessarily associate it with the crime. Just like anything that's coming up now, 3 weeks after she was abducted, it could have been dumped anytime in that 3 weeks and it's not even associated. But again, like we've talked many times, you can't ignore it because there's where the defense creates reasonable doubt. So you do have to collect it, but you do prioritize it whether or not you're going to put it in right away for DNA testing. You might have some other things that are more relevant that could lead to the abductors quicker than something that was found 3 weeks later.
And Dave Mack, you told me that the backpack was found near a homeless encampment.
It's actually in, I'm trying to think of the name of it, like in a culvert where you have a long pipe. where homeless people, and this is in an area about 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home, a fairly large active homeless encampment. And when the backpack was discovered, it was discovered abandoned, and there were 2 homeless people there who actually were not there by the time police arrived. They skedaddled. So,
Okay, so bloody gloves, backpack. I tend to think the backpack is not connected, but there's the other issue, Bueller, of finding articles that were overlooked, if they were there at the time, by searchers. That's sloppy. And number 2, regarding sloppy searches, to take off your gloves as a searcher and throw them down on the ground. Why in the world, Bueller?
Well, I've said this got me stumped along with many other things in life. But when it comes to things like this, I don't even know why a searcher is going to be wearing gloves unless you actually see something that's worthy of picking up. Then, of course, the best thing to do would be call the locals, get the sheriff's office over there to recover the thing. But don't get involved in it yourself. If anybody who's ever worn latex gloves, they're not really very comfortable. Last week it was kind of chilly down there in the morning, so of course you might wear regular, warmth gloves, something that's going to keep you warm. But as far as walking around doing a search wearing latex gloves, I can think of a lot of other things I'd rather be wearing than those, because they're never comfortable, and disposing them is, I'm working day to day and doing things down here. I don't put latex gloves on very often. There's no real need to.
But it's irresponsible when you're searching for potential evidence from a kidnap and you contaminate the scene by throwing your own gloves down. So every searcher, if DNA is found, is going to have to be excluded. And that takes me back to DNA found in the home. Let's go to Scott Eicher, as you know, joining us, digital forensics expert, founding member of the FBI Cellular Analysis Survey team. He is now a precision cellular analyst. Scott, the DNA at the scene that has been newly discovered is going to be subject to, if we ever do get to a trial, when and if, an intense cross-examination, because it wasn't found originally by Nanos's team. I believe it was found by the FBI. That's going to lead to claims it was planted. But my theory, Eicher, is that unlike, let's just go with O.J. Simpson, the victim's blood, Denise Brown and Ron Goldman's blood, was on his socks, found near his bed. He claimed successfully at trial, it was a lie of course, that blood evidence had been planted on his socks. But in this case, it's impossible because we don't have a suspect yet in order to plant his DNA. So that won't work. Even though it was found days into the investigation, once the FBI was finally invited in, there's no suspect to match it up to.
Yeah, we run into, I understand your question, and I do see the aspect here of finding that DNA a little bit later is going to cause some questions at trial. It's going to be brought up by the defense. But you got to deal with what you have, right? I mean, if something happened that they didn't collect it, later on they learn some new information, they go back into the house and collect it. As long as it's documented correctly and photographed and all that, that stuff is going to be able to come into court. There's going to be arguments about it, but it'll later come into court.
LPL, or Lawyers Professional Liability Insurance, protects your firm and individual attorneys from errors and omissions that occur during the course of providing their professional service. Get the coverage you and your attorneys need to practice law at abroker.com.
Jenny, we need you to build a spacecraft. What's your plan?
It needs to be fast, with thrusters, and brakes, and balloons.
You're gonna fly it.
Build and ride the new Galacticoaster at Legoland, California.
Hi guys, Nancy Grace here. Between the grocery store and insurance premiums, even with a steady job, more families are being forced to rely on high-interest credit cards just to cover expenses. If you're a homeowner carrying balances with interest rates in the 20s, it's time to get relief. American Financing is helping homeowners pay off debt at rates in the low fives. On average, their salary-based mortgage consultants are saving customers $800 a month. Plus, if you start today, you may even delay your next 2 mortgage payments. There are no upfront fees. America's home for home loans is American Financing. 866-888-0344. 866-888-0344. Or just go online and visit americanfinancing.net/Nancy. And good luck. Back to our forensics expert, DNA specialist, Susanna Ryan. Susanna, when you have mixed DNA, how does the scientist separate the DNA in order to analyze it? And then I assume it's going to be put into CODIS. I believe that's already been tried. We didn't get a hit. Now put into genetic genealogy databanks. Tell me how that's going to happen.
All right, so when you have a mixture, we used to use what we call manual interpretation. We just looked at the profile. We tried to determine, is there someone that's contributing more of the DNA or less of the DNA, and sort of piece those individuals apart. That's not always possible. We have some new tools called probabilistic genotyping. So these are software programs, and they are, they are able to do computations and do the analysis much quicker than a DNA analyst could do manually. So they're able to, the software programs can look at up to 5-person mixtures and help sort of what we call deconvolute, but that doesn't always happen. When you have that many people, you simply many times cannot completely separate them out. Now, if you had a suspect that you could do a direct comparison to, that's where those probabilistic genotyping programs really shine, where we're able to make use of all of the data.
Okay, hold on. You said 5. What about 2? How about 2 mixed DNAs? How hard is that?
Much easier. Much easier to separate out 2 people's DNA. Not always possible if they're contributing about the same amount. So if you had a mixture that's 50-50 of 2 people, it can be, and you don't know, you don't have the profile of any of the other possible contributors, it can be very difficult. And it can be...
Okay, we know, or we hope, that this has been sent to Othram Labs, run by the Middlemans. Their expertise is amazing. They cracked the Brian Koberger case. They cracked the Rachel Morin case, where an illegal immigrant came into our country from El Salvador, running from a murder charge there. He comes here, sex assaults a minor girl in her own home, is caught on cam leaving. Then he pops up to sex assault and murder Rachel Morin on the Ma and Pa Trail. That case, amongst many others. So hopefully, Nano sent the DNA there. Their expertise is in minuscule amounts of DNA, degraded DNA, such as DNA out in the elements or mixed with mud, mixed DNA, such as what we've got here. The DNA is going on right now. It will then be put into, as we said, a genetic genealogy database. So we're waiting. In the meantime, what does Lululemon have to do with this? Well, keep your eyes peeled. Control room, please show the Lululemon insignia. Okay, Dave Mack, what does this have to do with Nancy Guthrie?
Well, apparently the person seen on the Nest door camera trying to put, weeds over it, this appears on the left sleeve cuff there of the jacket, apparently. I say apparently because I didn't know that Lululemon had something that men would wear. And I think this person, Lululemon, sorry.
Lululemon, Dave Matt. You're the investigative reporter. Trot on down to the mall and figure out how to say it. Lululemon. I think where you're going with this is that you didn't know they had men's clothing. You thought it was just for 8th grade girls. They do have men's clothing. John Bueller, When my daughter was going to a birthday party and the little girl wanted a pair of Lululemon tights, they were $90. And that was like 4 years ago. So, what perp is wearing an 8th grade girl Lululemon outfit? Who is this?
Well, pretty stylish guy, at least among the people I run around with, so I could see him doing that. But he's sloppy. Why would you have anything like this being out there? Whether it's the reflective strips on the shoulder straps of the backpack, being able to turn to be able to determine what it is, anything like that that's going to be able to be determined by detectives is sloppy work. But again, it might suggest that he didn't do a good job casing, or whoever told him about the residence didn't tell him that there was that Nest camera in front, which supports him having to go out and get some weeds to try and cover the thing up because he's surprised when he first sees it. So not the faculty of Stanford here with these guys doing this thing, but again, it's still one of those events that I think the crime backfired on him. My real fear is that she might not have survived the abduction because of the circumstances that we have this far along. And now what do you do? And if that might be one of the reasons one of them hasn't.
That's what you do. Before you opine anymore and go down that avenue, let's review the evidence and how we can move the investigation forward. To you, Iker, you and I have talked about the FBI, let's just say fiber and textile database. It's compiled from so many cases where you analyzed clothing fiber, carpet fiber, all sorts of clothing that has been used in various crimes for years back. We're looking at a guy that shops at Walmart because we know the Ozark hiking backpack. We know he likely, and jump in, Dave Mack, if I've got any of this wrong. Everybody, please don't wait on me to call on you. The polyester holster, not typically used for a revolver, not typically used for a semi-automatic. You can see the clasp over for the hammer. That said, that's sold at Walmart, and very few of them in the Tucson area. Just 2 had it available at the time that Nancy went missing. You've got the backpack, you've got the polyester holster, you have the ski mask, a similar one is sold at Walmart. Some people call it a balaclava. You have the jacket, you got the pants, you got the shoes, you got the walkie-talkie. So, Scott Iker, we're looking for a guy that has all of those things. Now, to top it all off, the cherry on top of the sundae is the Lululemon jacket, the Lululemon cuff. So, how does the FBI go about putting all of that clothing together and finding it? It would be a gift from heaven if the guy bought several pieces of it on the same receipt. But what if he didn't buy it in a brick and mortar? What if he bought it online?
10 minutes ago, this app didn't exist. And listen, I'm not a developer, I'm more of a creative. Tech stuff is the last thing I'd usually touch. So I just told Mocha, create a booking and payments tool for wellness coaches, and it gave me a working app in minutes. My clients can log in with Google and then book. I can take payments, and it's already live. I don't know coding. I didn't hire developers or have to wait months. I literally just had an idea, and Mocha built it. Over 100,000 founders and business owners are already building with Mocha. Check out getmocha.com and start building for free.
Joe Brown from Accident Logger. For years, I worked as an insurance adjuster, and now I use those experiences to help our clients fight and win. Insurance companies know who the good lawyers are, and they know which lawyers are out for a quick buck. Hire the firm that wins. Here are some of our most recent wins for our clients. As a former insurance adjuster, I know what the insurance company is going to do before they do it. And most importantly, we win. In an accident, call Accident Logger.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great to find a suspect or several suspects that bought all these items at a Walmart all at the same time, right? Wouldn't that be perfect? But that's probably not the way it's going to happen. They could have bought it separately. They could have had a girlfriend buy it. They could have, bought it online. And when we deal with the online stuff, that's a whole other world, right? You're going to have to get Amazon's cooperation. You're going to have to give them a search warrant. You're going to have, and hopefully they can give you a list of how many thousands of people that might have bought these specific items. So, whether it's brick or mortar or where it's
right there.
Amazon.
Stop right there. So, stop. Of course they've given them a warrant. Okay, let's just jump ahead, please. So they've given a warrant to Amazon. They've given a warrant to Walmart. But can't you see, wouldn't you agree that it would be limited to the Tucson area, not everybody in the world that bought these items? For Pete's sake, well, of course, we had Coburger in our sights before they did the Amazon search. So that made cracking Coburger's Amazon search easy. We don't have a perp yet. But it can be limited to the first Tucson, then going out, who could have ordered at least one or more of these items. Come on. You've got the walkie-talkie. You've got the backpack. Right there. You've got the jacket, the balaclava.
It would be great if we could find it.
You see where I'm going with this, Iker? Help me out. Throw me a bone.
I do. We got to remember this is still a massive investigation, no matter if it's just bought it in Tucson or then you got to start, as you said, going further out from Tucson. And how far do you go? And it really just depends. And when you're dealing with Amazon, where was it delivered? Was it delivered to Tucson? Do they live in Phoenix? Anything like that. You got to start with a large database and start whittling it down. And it's a lot of grunt footwork, too.
I'll tell you where I would start. You know where I would start? Where that Google search was on Google Trends. That was the person was looking for, we think, Savannah Guthrie's salary and Nancy Guthrie's home address. I would start in that area. Thoughts?
Oh, that's definitely true.
I mean, do I have to spoon feed you, Iker?
I'm trying, girl. I'm trying.
Hi, guys. Nancy Grace here. Please join us on Crime Stories and stream it first on Fox 1. When breaking crime news develops, we investigate it and bring it to you. Bombshell updates, answers to unanswered questions from cases making the headlines and cases you may never have heard of until Crime Stories. We go inside investigations with exclusive interviews, crime victims, families seeking justice, investigators, experts, and sources from within the case itself. Stay on top of the nation's biggest trials with us, including gavel-to-gavel coverage with real-time analysis. Crime Stories with Nancy Grace. Stream it first on Fox 1. I hope to see you there, and thank you, friend. If you know or think you know anything about the whereabouts of Nancy Guthrie, please dial toll-free. And let me remind you, there is an over $200,000 reward. It's getting close to $250,000. And by the way, don't call the tip line with your theory or your own questions, or for Pete's sake, no premonitions. No premonitions. Their words, not mine. If you know or think you know anything, dial toll-free 800-225-5324. Repeat, 800-225-5324. Or if you wish to remain anonymous and you don't want the nearly $250,000, dial 520-882-7463. 520-882-7463. And think about it. Is Nancy Guthrie still alive? Is she being held in some freak's basement? Are they feeding her? Is she crying right now? Does she wonder, are my children looking for me? Will I ever see them again? Please call with any tip you may have. Nancy Grace signing off for tonight, but I'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you to our guests and thank you for being with us as we continue the search. We are not giving up the search for the mother of our friend, Savannah Guthrie. Help us find Mrs. Nancy Guthrie. Good night, friend. Hi, guys. Please join us on our mission to find missing people, especially children, to solve unsolved homicides. And if you're on the go, please join us on your favorite podcast app where you can get all our content, where we, in our way, seek justice.
I want to pause for a minute and talk about something personal to me. I've had the privilege of working closely with Robert Kraft for a long time. And one thing I've always respected is how seriously he takes standing up to hate. As a Jewish athlete, my identity is a huge part of who I am. I'm proud of it. But I've also felt what it's like when people judge you or label you or target you just for that. That's why this new commercial from Blue Square Alliance Against Hate that aired during the big game stuck with me. It shows a kid being targeted at school for being Jewish, and another kid covers the hate with the blue square and walks beside him in solidarity. That moment says everything. Standing up doesn't always mean confrontation. Sometimes it's empathy. Sometimes it's presence. And when you're on a team, in sports or life, you don't leave people to walk alone. If you want to show support, post the blue square and learn more at standuptojewishhate.org.
Good evening and welcome. It is Monday, February 23rd, 2026, and this is your Monday night true crime docket from Courtroom Confidential, the fastest growing true crime news channel on YouTube. Thank you all so much for being here. Heather Cooper-Smith, therapist you know, Susan D., Ella Lemon, Joy W. Can, you guys are fantastic. I say this every single time, but I really do mean it. I'm amazed every single time that we go live that people actually show up. So thank you guys for continuing to show up. Thank you for all your continued support. Thank you for returning on a Monday night, carving out a little time for us. And thank you to all the new folks who are here. I know we got a lot of new people who've joined us over the last couple of weeks. So welcome. You're going to enjoy this. This is a Monday night show that we usually do. We usually don't go live every single week, but Mondays are one of our regular weeks. So let me introduce myself to the new folks. My name is Joshua Ritter. I'm a former prosecutor with the LA District Attorney's Office. I was there for about 10 years or so, 10 plus years, I'm going to say, before I left to go into private practice as a criminal defense attorney. And we started this channel, Courtroom Confidential, with the idea of bringing to you both sides of the courtroom, both sides of the stories, both sides of the issues, and we hope that we do that. And this show, Monday night, our Monday night true crime docket, it's kind of a look at the week ahead. What's coming up this week, what to expect, how to prepare yourselves. But we actually have a lot of breaking news this evening, so we're going to get into that. We know that a trial started today. Another case that we've been following closely was in court today, so we'll talk about that stuff. As always, please stay to the end for announcements. We do have a lot of things coming up this week, some special stuff that we don't usually do that I want you guys to know about, especially those of you who are members. But take a deep breath. You made it to the beginning of another week. It's all going to be okay. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this with anyone you think might enjoy it. And let me introduce why I'm so excited about this evening, why I'm juiced, you might say, is that our guest for this evening is a very good friend, and she's a YouTuber that I follow faithfully. Everybody, please welcome Gigi from Pretty Lies and Alibis.
Hey,
my friend, how are you?
Thanks for having me, Josh. Always good to talk to you.
Of course. Thank you so much for, I know how busy you are. You're planning on even going out to Utah for the Corey Richins case, right?
Yeah, in just a couple of weeks, the second week in March, I'm going to head out and sit in for a week of trial and just experience there. It's my favorite thing to do, Josh, sit in that courtroom, watch that jury, and just kind of feel the air in there and see how it's going. It's very different, as you know, than just watching on the live stream. So that's what I live for.
It cannot be replaced. I tell this to people all the time. If you ever get the opportunity just to go to court, whether it's a big case that you're following or even small cases, just to experience what it's like inside the courtroom, it really cannot be replicated as closely as you might watch TV. So thank you for doing that. Also, all the insights you're going to share with us on that trial. And I want to talk about the Corey Richins trial, but I'm going to change things up. I'm going to throw you a curveball because right before we went live, there was some breaking news. My friend Mike Ruiz, he is a reporter with Fox Digital, just tweeted this moments ago, and this is mind-blowing to me. So here we are. We are entering week 4. We are day 23 of her missing. I'm going to read this. Breaking. A source with knowledge of the investigation just confirmed to me that these 2 images were taken on different days and may show the same person or may not, obviously, if they're taken days apart. I have some reactions, but go ahead and jump in, Gigi.
You know, we're learning a lot of things for almost 4 weeks in that seems like we should have known weeks ago. And in fact, the Pima County sheriff just released a statement about that, saying that he told Fox News this evening the information and reporting out there that says the original Guthrie Nest camera video depicts the same person on a different day. Guess what, Josh? It did not come from him or the FBI. He's denying this. And he says that as we know, sources from inside either agency may be sharing different information with the media, which is a huge problem in this case. But how terrifying, Josh, that this person was brazen enough to walk up to her front door, not once, but at least twice. And that second time, clearly make an entry. That video's haunted me since it's come out. Just can't imagine 84 years old and coming face to face with that. But it just feels like we're not getting anywhere. A lot of that comes from the lack of press conferences where the sheriff is instead choosing to do interviews, and you have to piece it together to make your own press conference. It's just wild.
It is wild. I texted Mike after this, and I said, wait a minute. How, where are you getting this from? And he's not going to tell me his sources.
Right.
Say to me is confirmed with a very high level source. He's one of those reporters that oftentimes is not first to a story because he wants to make sure that he's confirming it with a good source. So for him to come out and say this, I'm going to take it as truth, in spite of what the sheriff is telling us. But something interesting is many people pointed out before today that it looks like either a different person or he's obviously done something different that evening, because the first thing that sticks out is he's not wearing a backpack. He's not wearing the gun. Some people have even pointed out that the shoes appear to be different. I had been skeptical. I had been of the mindset like, no, that's the same evening. He just maybe put the backpack on later or took the backpack off at one point, whatever. But we weren't ever told when this videotape was taken, and now we're being told it's different nights, which to me actually explains quite a bit, because we know how prepared he was for that evening, but then also how he was caught off guard. And what I mean by that is he didn't worry about a dog. He didn't worry about an alarm system. He didn't worry about anybody else being home. It's kind of like he knew he was going in and not having much difficulty getting inside the house. But then he was caught off guard by the video camera. So it almost makes me wonder, Kaylin, if you don't mind going back to that side-by-side, that as far as he got, the threshold, and the camera had just not, he had not noticed the camera. You know what I mean? Maybe he comes out, cases the house, walks up as far as kind of the archway there, realizes, hey, I'm not going to have much trouble. I'm going to come back on another night with my backpack and whatever no good stuff is inside of there, but then doesn't realize there's a camera. I mean, I know everybody's got a theory in this one, but what do you think?
Yeah, and I mean, if this had been told after this video came out initially, we could have saved the internet weeks speculation of whether there were 2 people there that night. That's one thing the internet's been debating back and forth. And, it could depend on where she has her zones for detection. It could be she didn't have it quite that far out in the yard, so he might not have seen a light come on that door cam. But we know he saw it on that second video because he looked frozen. It's like he didn't know what to do for a second. He sort of wandered aimlessly to the left and then went and grabbed a plant, trying to cover it up, but still showing his whole face. So yeah, it would make sense if this is the same person on two nights. Maybe he just didn't get close enough to trigger. You know, when you're recorded on those cameras, typically there's a red or a blue light. And I think that second time he went in, that's when he saw that light, threw him off guard. But there's so much, I would say, a lack of information in this case, Josh, that has allowed the rumor and speculation that the sheriff is complaining about to run full force, because there has been no clarity whatsoever, and we see it just now. Michael Ruiz, who, by the way, I followed since day one, he and Brian Enton, just bringing all the news to us. But it's like, why would you not come out and say this weeks ago? Being said, and now we have the sheriff totally saying the opposite. And I have to say, I'm more inclined to believe Ruiz at this point.
100%.
100%. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he cased it out. You know they would have to case it out at least once before they go to, or this person goes to take her.
Choose Zorro.com and get it all to keep your business running. Whether it's the supplies you use the most or the exact tools for
This sheriff loves to complain about people jumping to conclusions, and he is the source of the problem.
100%.
Like he has still failed to realize that the problem everybody is so confused is because of his own statements. He'll say one thing to one reporter and an hour later say something different. And words matter. He's saying things slightly different that are important enough that people don't know which is the truth. And like when it comes to something like this, is this because he's not aware of it, or he's not had that information shared with them, or there's something about what they're saying is slightly not true, so he's denying the whole thing? It's unclear, and we can't trust the guy. And it's a sad state of affairs when you trust the investigative reporters more than you trust the law enforcement.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is this, he is just, I've seen some interviews with people that used to work with him who say that his ego is a huge problem, and this problem with the FBI not wanting to give control is not new. This is clearly something they've dealt with in the past. But, it almost makes me feel like this statement, because it didn't come from him, he wants to debunk it. Almost like, hey, if the FBI is putting this out, no, this is still my case. So I'm going to say, as far as I know, it didn't come from me. Don't know if it came from the FBI. It's like this desperate hold, to stay on this case. But, at what point does somebody come in and say, hey, you got to step off? We have wasted weeks battling with your ego while this woman's life has been in your hands while you're at basketball games and giving interviews to everybody, except for the public at a press conference. Yeah, it's a mess. And unfortunately, Ms. Nancy,
Dang, I freaking passed out. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me today. Dang, I didn't snore? Good. Dang, I freaking passed out. Yeah, I need to find an Airbnb. Keep playing it, go back to sleep. Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back in a little bit. Oh, there's a new video from Savannah? Yeah, I'm gonna get going, guys. That's gonna be it for me for right now. I'll be on in a little bit. All right, so thank you guys, like everybody for who helped out with the channel today. So let me look for a Airbnb, and we'll go from there. All right. Paying up to $1 million, dang. Call later. All right, guys, you have a good day. All right. Let me charge my phones. Let me charge myself. Let me go look for Airbnb. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right. Thank you guys, everybody. And thank you, everybody who donated today. I really appreciate it. So I'll see you guys in a little bit.